Praise be to God. This dream took place in some kind of, I don't know how to explain it, fairy tale type land where there were princesses, kings, things like that. It was like this world of royalty and different things like that. But still, there was good and there was evil. And so anyway, it was this father and he had two daughters. And he was setting up their education. And this father was not a man of God, but he was fond of God. You know how some sinners are not saved, but they don't mind God. Like they don't mind that some people are saved. It doesn't bother them. He was like that. And so he had these two daughters and he was setting up their education. And he was debating on whether or not he should give them a teacher that only taught what was called religious studies, or if he should give them a teacher that focused more on studying everything else about the world and politics and cardinal things, worldly movies, and just more focus on worldly things, but had a very small amount of religious studies. So he did some research and he said that he was fond of this teacher that taught these cardinal things and just had this small amount of religious studies. He was saying that he heard good things about him, that he's a really good teacher. But he decided not to put both of his daughters with that teacher. And he put the oldest daughter with that teacher. And the youngest daughter, he put her in the class that taught only religious studies. And the dream was saying that it was only the things of God, where she was only focusing on things like prayer, reading the Bible, spending time with God, worshiping God, and just really immersed in the things of God, staying away from worldly things like politics and, worldly movies and all the cardinal things, worldly things, and, just staying away from all of that. And he almost felt sorry for her because he was like, she's not going to get this broad study like her sister. But anyway, the dream showed that the sister that was in the class that taught more of the cardinal things, she was very miserable. She was very cynical. The dream literally said cynical. She was very negative. She was complaining all the time, murmuring and complaining all the time. She was also saying, what's the point of religious studies? What's the point of studying anything about God? My life is miserable. My life is horrible. What's the point in praying? What's the point in worshiping God? And there's no point. We might as well just not even do that. It's just pointless. That's how she was acting. And she was so miserable, so negative. And then the younger sister, who was in the class where it was all religious studies, all worshiping God, praising God, focusing on nothing but the things of God. She was so happy. And also it showed that she was wearing clothes that were royalty clothes, just like her sister, but her sister's clothes was dark. It's hard to even explain. If you see like those medieval black dresses, really miserable looking, and that's how she was dressed, like very miserable. Whereas the younger sister was wearing very bright clothes, very happy clothes. And when she walked, she didn't just walk. The dream says she skipped. And she was so happy. She was like leaping and skipping. And she had a very positive outlook on life. She was just very happy all the time. And so the moral of this dream is that focusing on God, focusing on the things of God is how to be happy. It's how to have a happy outlook on life. And it's the best way to face life and not be negative and miserable. Because with that type of attitude, it just leads to more and more misery. I pray that this dream was a blessing to you all. God bless you. Bye.